bloody good. Oh my gosh. Get it? Because it's English tea. So comforting. Hey besties, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm V, and I'm so excited to be filming another writing vlog. It's been a while since I've filmed one and updated you guys, but I have been writing and following my full-time writing routine, and it's been chef's kiss. But I'm extra excited for today because I get to switch it up and try a different writing routine for the day, and it's none other than Anna's writing routine, and I'm so excited. If you don't know who Anna is, she is a fellow authortuber and one of my longtime authortube friends, and she makes amazing writing related videos. You guys have to go check out her channel if you haven't already. She's just so cool, and I'm so excited to be swapping writing routines for her. This is a collab video, so she's gonna be trying my writing routine, which is so exciting. I can't wait to see her try my routine. I also feel so bad because she has to wake up at 7:30, and I just got to sleep in until 10 a.m. this morning, and it felt so nice. So yeah, I'll reveal parts of her routine as I go through the video, but yes, she wakes up at 10 a.m. and what I love about her routine is that she balances writing and school, and been there, done that. Not an easy feat, but any of you who are watching that are still in school or are working can hopefully take inspiration from Anna's routine because it seems so realistic but cozy and productive, and I'm so excited to try it. So woke up, still went to the gym because, you know, I recently got a gym membership and it is so expensive, so I was like, I will milk every penny I can out of this gym membership. Just kidding. This is the second time I've gotten it. It's been 2 weeks. But you know what? Starting now, because the past few weeks actually, I've been kind of bouncing around everywhere and all over the place, which is also why I haven't posted. And don't worry, I am back. I will be posting a lot more often, which is very exciting. It's actually pretty late in the afternoon right now. It's like 5 o'clock, which, yeah, I know it's the evening. This is when my routine ends, and I feel like it's okay because she says that she doesn't do much writing in the morning since she has school and class, but when she does have time to write, it's usually during the day after class or late past bedtime, hence why she ends up sleeping in, which makes so much sense. So I was like, you know what, I can do some other stuff throughout the day and just get started and have like a kind of a later writing session, so like evening and night. And this is very similar to when I was in school. I squoze in. What's the past tense of I squeezed in? I want to say squoze, but that's so that's wrong, and I'm a writer, and I should probably cut this out. It's squeezed. It just, okay. Anyway, I squeezed in, I don't know why it sounds so wrong. I squeezed in time whenever I could, and usually it was like in the evening or at night. So it's 5 and I'm gonna have my first writing session, and I'm so excited. We have our tea. She drinks English breakfast tea. I'm usually a coffee drinker, or I drink Earl Grey tea. I don't think I've tried English breakfast tea before, but this is so yummy. She drinks it with a splash of milk, and I added a little bit of cane sugar, and it's so cozy and comforting, and I need to write with a drink, so this is perfect. So we're just gonna get into it, you guys. She starts off her writing session by writing poetry to get into the creative flow, so 1 to 3 poems on pen and paper. On her Instagram, she posts poems that she writes, and they are so beautiful. Now, I don't write poetry, but I have written poems before and really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to see how this goes. Also nervous to see how this goes because would not call myself a poet, but we're gonna try. And I miss writing on pen and paper. I haven't done that in a while, so I'm gonna put on a candle. That's what she likes to do. I love candles as well, and I am going to try to free write some poems. Okay guys, I just read 2 poems, and not gonna lie, that was so much fun. I miss writing poems. I used to write poems, like I said, when I was probably like in high school and elementary school, just like once in a while. I'd open my book and write a poem, and I think I needed to do this right now because I'm editing my novel. I'm so caught up in perfection and trying to perfect my writing. Well, as perfect as it can be. It's far from perfect, but I've been so purposefully nitpicky, and free writing a poem is just forcing me to surrender all of that and just write. And I love that she said do this on pen and paper, because again, I can't just delete what I'm writing every 3 seconds and be like, ugh, I don't want this, start over, scrap this. Like when I write something, I'm like, okay, it's there. Like I crossed a couple things out, but it's nice. And like I said, I'm not a poet, but I will share these poems with you guys because again, I need to let go of sharing the diamonds in the rough. But I was like, what do I write about? And I was like, okay, well, I'm about to to write my romance novel, so why not write a poem from the perspective of my main characters? So it's kind of just, I just kind of just wrote poems of love in general. So I have one that says, it was beautiful, it was different, it was hopeful, it was warm, it was promising, and that's what made it terrifying. That's one poem. And then the second is, I want slow Saturdays drinking tea, I want to trade books under a tree, I want to curl up close by the TV, I want to dance barefoot, just you and me. I want anything, nothing, everything, as long as it's with you. So those are my poems. One was not rhyming, the other was rhyming. And for the second one, I was starting off without the I want. It was just gonna be slow Saturdays drinking tea, trading books under a tree, curled up close by the TV. And then after that, I was like, I can't find a line that works, so I switched to I want. But now I'm like, I kind of liked it better without the I want, but it doesn't matter. That was fun. I am now gonna get into my writing. This motivated me because I'm like, I love love. I love Ray and Jordan. For those of you who don't know, I am currently working on the third draft of the romance novel that I'm working on, which is Project ITL, also known as Into the Limelight. And I think I'm 25,000 words in, 20-something thousand words in, which does not sound like I mean, it's a lot, but considering my entire draft is probably going to be around 70 to 75,000, this is a guesstimate. I'm not as far along into the book as I thought. It just feels like I'm far in because I've been spending so much time on each chapter that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm almost done. I'm close to the end. I'm not even halfway. Truly, I sat down the other day and I was like, wow, I'm really not even halfway. But I'm okay with that. I like the pacing that I'm going at. And I know I keep saying this, but I've been having so much fun revising this draft. Like, it's going pretty smoothly so far. I know that I will hit a spot pretty soon where I'm like, oh gosh, what do I do here? Because a character is introduced and I'm supposed to get rid of this character. But that changes so much. Or I could keep this character because it did add a little bit of something to the story. However, if I'm debating keeping or removing this character, is this character really that important, is what's going through my head. I don't know. But you know what? We will work through that roadblock when we get there. We're not there yet. I'm just gonna take it one chapter at a time, one scene at a time, and just see how it goes. Okay, so it's time to get into our first writing session. I actually haven't written. Did I write yesterday? Maybe in a couple days because I was away for the weekend. So I don't even fully remember what part I'm at in my story, but I'm so excited to get back into it. So we're gonna get to writing, and Anna likes to put on a writing playlist and she'll play a song that represents her story. And one of the songs she likes is Fine Line, and then puts on a timer for 1 hour, usually using Focus. I love Focus. I use that all the time. Is Fine Line, is that the song by Harry Styles? Alexa, play Fine Line on Spotify, please.
Fine Line by Harry Styles from Spotify.
It is. Wait, how does the song go again? Very cinematic opening. Wow, I love that. That 1 hour focus timer is still going, but we are in a groove. It's been like 40 minutes. I wrote 604 words. We're now at 29,126 total for this draft. I mean, we're inching to the midpoint, which is great, but besties, do not be mad at me. Guess who went backwards? But this time, guys, I have a good reason. I just did something kind of major in this draft, which is that I added a prologue. I added a prologue. Here's the thing, prologues aren't common in romance novels at all. The only author who I've seen do a prologue in a romance, at least in any that I've read, is Ali Hazelwood in The Love Hypothesis and Love Theoretically. Both took different approaches even then. The Love Hypothesis was the moment the main character and the love interest first met, but it was kind of in the past from where chapter 1 starts off. But in Love Theoretically, it's a moment in the future after they've already met, just to kind of show their tension. And it's always really short, like 1 page. Actually, no, The Love Hypothesis, I think it was a couple pages, but Love Theoretically, it was like a page and literally like a quarter, and that's it. And I personally thought that it worked. I know some people tend to not read prologues, so it's like, I guess that's why I've never really considered writing one for my novel, even though I've toyed with the idea for a while now, and here's why. Like I've mentioned before, chapter 1 doesn't introduce the love interest in my story, Jordan Taylor. And in the previous draft, I think it's chapter maybe 4 that we see him for the first time. So I got beta reader feedback. She's like, I think we need to see Jordan sooner. And I was like, I completely agree. A lot of novels, I I like picked up romance novels off my bookshelf to like kind of study them a while back, and I was like, a lot of these you see the love interest in the first chapter, like first page even. And I tried, when I was making an outline for this third draft, I tried to find a way where I was like, okay, let's get him into the first chapter. But I couldn't without ruining the setup of the story, basically, because he has to be first introduced, or he's first in person there during the inciting incident, which is the proposal to work together. He can't show up before then, and I can't have the inciting incident for this be in chapter 1. It just won't work. Like it won't be impactful unless I have this set up. So I was like, he has to be, I think I moved it to chapter 2 in this draft. He's in chapter 2. No, chapter 3? Chapter 3. That's the soonest I could move him into this draft. And I like chapter 1, 2, and 3, and I don't want to change anything about them or cut anything out or move anything around now that I've already done all my restructuring for this draft. But it's been nagging at me. I'm like, the fact that he doesn't show up for the first 2 chapters, I'm like, if I were to read the first chapter and I didn't know my novel the way that I do, would I continue to read based off that first chapter to get to the point where he's introduced? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. I don't know from the perspective of a reader who knows nothing about my story if they'll read the first chapter and be like, okay, I have enough of a little hint teaser that I'll wait around. Because I did put that little teaser of him because Ray's working at the diner and an interview of him shows up on the screen, and then insert that kind of visceral reaction because she's met him before and blah blah blah. That's the best that I could do to get a little teaser in there before he appears in chapter 3. So I was like, I really feel like a prologue could really benefit my story. Just a little teaser at what's to come, like the dynamic between Ray and Jordan. And so I just wrote it out yesterday. I took time to like plan it out during my writing session because it actually takes a lot of planning. It's literally 600 words. So I don't even know how many pages that is. I think it's 1 page, maybe not even. Maybe it's a little more than a page. I don't know how many words are in a page. It's short though. Oh, maybe that's a couple pages. I don't know. But like I said, it doesn't need to be long. But anyway, it took planning because I can't just like, I didn't want to just like cut a portion and then put it as the prologue. I wanted it to have like an opening little paragraph, like monologue, transition into the little snippet teaser, and then end off with a little hook. That way I'm not giving away too much, just enough, just the right amount. And if people do read the prologue, which I hope they do, it can also serve as a good starting point. Like the little monologue at the beginning it's like you're reading a story for the first time too. So whether they start from the prologue, chapter 1, we're covered. And I'm so excited with this change. It's a little like, sometimes when I'm making revisions, I'm like, am I doing changes that are benefiting it, or is this probably not a good change? But I'm gonna go with my heart on this one, and I love the prologue a lot. And it's short. It's short and sweet. Also, you guys, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to anyone who left a comment about the little snippets I shared in my last writing vlog, like saying that you would want to read my book, etc. Like, it means so much to me. Like, it truly like made my day, and it's so motivating too. Like, I was reading those comments and I was like, oh my gosh, I have never felt more motivated to finish this novel and get it out there so that others can read it. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna continue to write for the remainder of the timer. I finished my prologue, so I might not be adding a lot of words. I'm gonna be just going over it, sharpening pieces. Again, it's not a lot of words, so that won't take very long. And then I will move forward with my novel. I'm on chapter 12 right now, and then I'm gonna eat dinner because I'm really hungry because I can smell food. Like, I can be so unhungry the second the smell of food hits my nostrils. I'm hungry. Now I'm debating, should I eat first? Ugh. You know, the timer was almost done. Yeah, I might eat first and then get back to this because I need fuel. I need fuel to write. And then, oh, bless Anna's heart. When she gets tired, she says that she moves to write on her bed. This chair is pretty comfortable, but I love the idea of writing on my bed right now. When it hits late night, me and my bed are like this. We're like this. Also, it's been so long since I've written at night because of my whole full-time writing routine. I was writing basically like 10 to 5, 6, whatever. And I haven't had a late night writing session. It feels so good, and it feels so fitting because I love Anna's late night writing vlogs. Like, they just hit and they're so vibey. It just feels so writer core. So I'm excited to be doing this. Let's go eat. This is the work from our bed setup that we've got, ladies and gents. Nothing special, I'm sure you've seen this before, but peak coziness. We've got the reading pillow, Bobita as emotional support, the star of the show, the mug, which is dreadfully almost empty of tea and will be refilled with tea because I love English breakfast tea with milk now. Anna, you've put me on. It's so comforting. The water, because of course we gotta be drinking water. And now it's time to write. And I definitely have a better writing session when I go into it feeling inspired, whether that's just from a book that I read, which is why I love to do reading writing sprints, or a movie that I watched. And Anna said that one of the ways that she helps spark that inspiration is by reading chapters of her favorite books from high school, so the books that got her into writing, and I need to try that. Let's go to my bookshelf because I don't know what books those would be for me. I mean, I started writing at a really young age, so there wasn't really, but I started writing more seriously when I started this channel, so like 2021. Oh, I think I know what books it'd be. This book, you guys, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, I don't know how to pronounce that. Her name is a book that broke me out of like a years-long reading slump, and it's my twin sister and I's like one of our top books. And I think it's one of those books where it's more so for the nostalgia of it, because like honestly I'm pretty sure on Goodreads I rated this like, I don't even know, 3.7 stars, something like that. I don't know like plot-wise, but it's just, this book to me is one of my favorites anyway. Like it's still on my favorite shelf on Goodreads just for like how special it is to me, how much it means to me. And I also related to the main character so much, and it makes going to college feel a lot less scary. And I haven't picked this up in a bit, so I think this might be the one we read a couple chapters of. Guys, get out! What the heck? I just saw that I signed this Tuesday, June 15th, 2021. Okay, apparently I rated it a 9 out of 10, but I've reread this a couple of times, so maybe on my latest reread I rated it lower. I find it so funny that in 2021 I didn't even do like go by 5 stars. I was just like 9 out of 10. That's how like new into reading I was again. Like obviously I was a reader so much as a child, but there was a period of time, I think mostly high school, where I didn't really read that much, or maybe it was like, yeah, end of elementary school, I don't know. So I rated it out of 10. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Another reason that this inspired me to write is because the main character of this writes fan fiction. Like it's like her little side hobby in this, and then it kind of grows into something more because she gets so popular. Like the fan fiction that she's writing becomes so popular. And you guys know how much I love a book where the main character is a writer, and it's very much for that reason I feel more inspired to write. I also love being able to relate to certain things that the writers are going through in the book. I'll read the description for those of you who are interested in the description of this book. If you're not, you can skip to the time on screen. I always forget to put that edit in when I say that, but this time I will not forget, mark my words. So you can skip to that time. Okay, you're still listening because you want to know. I'm nervous. My throat gets really scratchy a lot, and I'm like, do people think that's annoying to listen to? Kath is a Simon Snow fan. Okay, the whole world is a Simon Snow fan, but for Kath, being a fan is her life, and she's really good at it. She and her twin sister Ren ensconced themselves in the Simon Snow series when they were just kids. It's what got them through their mother leaving. Reading, rereading, hanging out in Simon Snow forums, writing Simon Snow fan fiction, dressing up like characters for every movie premiere. Kath's sister has mostly grown away from fandom, but Kath can't let go. She doesn't want to. Now that they're going to college, Ren has told Kath that she doesn't want to be roommates. Kath is on her own, completely outside of her comfort zone. She's got a surly roommate with a charming, always around boyfriend, a fiction writing professor who thinks fan fiction is the end of the civilized world, a handsome classmate who only wants to talk about words, and she can't stop worrying about her dad, who's loving and fragile and has never really been alone. For Kath, the question is, can she do this? Can she make it without Ren holding her hand? Is she ready to start living her own life? And does she even want to move on if it means leaving Simon Snow behind? Yeah, that's what it's about. And it's one of those cool kind of books where it has snippets of what they're writing in the book. And fun little fact, Simon Snow, the book she writes her fan fiction off of, was obviously made up by the author, and she wrote an actual Simon Snow book because this book became so popular. I haven't read it, but I just thought that was cool. Guys, I felt compelled to read the introduction, which is like kind of like an author's note. I don't know why, something just called me to read it instead of just starting on chapter 1, because it's a little note by the author and I'm like, ooh, what does she have to say? Because remember, I haven't read this in a while. And I saw National Novel Writing Month and I was like, she wrote this during NaNoWriMo, which for those of you who don't know, every November there's NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. It's a challenge to write a book in a month, so like 50,000 words. I've participated before and I really want to participate this year, like fully, but I feel like this is proof of how beneficial it is to participate in that. Basically, she says that she wrote Fangirl entirely for herself because her career seemed stalled at the time. Her first book hadn't made any waves. She had a hard time selling her second book, and it was getting hard for her to justify writing fiction, just writing and spending time away from her job and her kids. And then she said she remembers thinking, this might be it. This might be my last book. And if it's my last book, then I may as well write exactly what I want to write. And she wrote Fangirl during November as part of National Novel Writing Month because she liked the idea of a built-in limitation and taking 1 month to write this weird thing she was considering and that she couldn't quite explain to her literary agent. And then if at the end of all of that, she looked down at it and thought, what is this mess? She could just throw it away because 1 month isn't that much time to spend or waste on a book. So she self-indulged in anything that she wanted to include in this novel. She said she could make it as long as she liked. She could try writing a little fantasy, a story within a story. She let herself push all her buttons. I'm literally just reading this. I don't know why I'm reading it like this. I could just read it, but whatever. She said it was easy to write about fan fiction because she was writing for herself, and she was writing so quickly that she didn't have time to worry about being exposed or embarrassed. She wrote it really fast, 60,000 words in a month. That's crazy. The rest over the next 6 months. Oh, she said, and I wrote it so happily. That's what you want. You want to write, be happy writing your books. It's just, it is really fun, and it should be fun. That's how it should be. She's the author of Eleanor and Park, if you recognize that book. I also read that book, but I liked this one more. But anyway, she said she wrote Eleanor and Park and she knew it would end tragically from the first page, which was a traumatic experience that she describes as driving 2 teenagers into a brick wall. And she said that this book was like the opposite. It starts off warm and gets even warmer. And she says it's such a pleasure that she can just pick up the book and happily read a few pages. Aw, I'm not sure how that works. How you can write a book completely for yourself and end up sharing it with so many people. But I feel like Kath, the main character, would take heart from this outcome. Kath writes fan fiction because that's the world that makes her happiest as a writer. That's the world she loves. I think you can write original fiction in the same spirit. You can create a world just because it makes you happy. You can write a book just because you want to spend time with it. Maybe you'll get lucky and you won't be the only one. Well, ain't that the cutest thing? And now I'm thinking I want to do a reread of books. Like maybe I'll do a video where I reread books because I have so many new books that I want to get to that I don't think to reread books ever. So I'm like, there are so many books I haven't read yet. But there's something about reading a book that you know you're gonna like you already know because you read it before, and just like re-experiencing it. Gosh, I could read this forever, honestly. Like I think if I were to be snowed in right now, better yet couldn't leave my room for the next 24 hours, I'd pick this up and read it. That's how I feel about it. The nostalgia is making me emotional and I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what it is about nostalgia, but sometimes it just makes me emotional. Chapter 1 done. That was so inspiring and I am ready for another writing session. Before I continue working on the chapter that I'm currently on, I want to try something that Anna does when she's struggling with a scene, plotting, or wants to add description. And that's that she picks a song. Right now it's this one, We Hug Now by Sydney Rose. And she puts her headphones on, lays down, and closes her eyes and imagines her scene and characters. She plays the scene out in her head, and this helps her to get to the emotion of the scene and the core themes. You guys, I don't listen to music at any point during my writing, but after this, I definitely want to do that. Because I was about to write an emotionally charged scene with Jordan and Ray, and this got me exactly in the feels that I needed to be in. Like, game changer. Guys, I think bonding scenes are my favorite scenes to write in romance. Or no, more specifically, the vulnerable, deep conversations between my main characters. Them breaking down their walls, slowly but surely, like chipping away. Oh, it's just the best. It's just the best. I have writing steam left, but I am not built to stay up past 11 p.m. I'm just not built to stay up past 11 p.m. I'm attempting to look a little less like an egg. Although if I'm being realistic, that is me 99% of the time when I'm writing. But anyway, as much as I want to keep writing, keep spending time with my characters, I think I have to go to bed. I'm so tired. It's 12 p.m. right now. That was on cue. But I really enjoyed following Anna's writing routine. I love how there's a focus on creating an atmosphere. I feel like that's such an important part of writing, to treat it more like a cozy ritual rather than a chore. It makes me actually want to write. You know, having a candle, having music if you like to write with music, starting off with poems, like it just eases you into a creative flow, and I really like that about her routine. I'm so happy with the progress that I made today in my revisions. I'm gonna keep drafting. I will see you guys in the next vlog for more updates, and thank you so much to Anna for collabing with me on this video. I can't wait to watch her video where she tries my writing routine, and this was just really fun for me to do. I wish you guys the best of luck on your writing projects if you have any. I know some people watch that don't write, and with all that being said, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!